everyone, welcome to Studio Sunday with Robyn and Terry.
Hello.
First, we want to send our best wishes out for everybody to have a healthy week ahead. Let us know what you're doing to keep yourself busy while at home for the next couple of weeks. I'm doing a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning, and a lot of bugging Terry.
No.
Okay, this week we shipped out all the orders from the Abstract Studio Con that was last weekend.
Good job.
We hope everybody had as much fun as we did. It was so fun to see everybody engaged all weekend, just like a regular con.
No.
And I thought the panels were great, so I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I did.
Please continue to order books on our website, and we will continue to fill them as long as they let us. So we'll continue to fill them until they tell us not to. So
They'd have to either shut down the street or the post office.
yeah, and so far we're pretty good. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
5 Years number 9 shipped this week, so we should be in stores in early to mid-April.
This guy.
Please call your comic shop and pick up your copy if they're open. If not, I know lots of shops are taking phone orders and mail orders, so please support them. Our shop, Bedrock City here in Houston, will take a phone order and then they will bring it out to your car with mask and gloves on, so you do not have to have human contact. So please support them. They really need our help right now.
Yeah.
We also solicited the How to Draw expanded edition that everybody was so anxious about. It's got 2 new chapters, and it's got a lay flat binding, so you can keep it open while studying it or using it as a reference.
Yeah, it's not like a regular trade where you have to hold it open. It'll just lay there for you, and you can do your thing.
And that will be available in July. So, you know what? I did not get any questions this week for you. They know everything about you. So I have made up a couple
Okay.
of my own.
All right. Oh, this could be dangerous.
Pressing questions. Okay, the first one is, do you think, and we may have touched on this, but let's touch on it again. Do you think individual issues of comics are still viable?
Yes, I do. In the same way that, you get individual episodes of any programming. Any storytelling likes to be told in chapters. And to me, that's what the individual issue is a chapter. So if you like chapter books, chapter reading, you have still, if you get the big book, you still got to go through it a chapter at a time. I like it.
And it also helps publishers like us get to the next trade paperback. It gives us some income between trade paperbacks, which keeps us going.
Yeah, if you think about it, if I only put out trade paperbacks, then there would be nothing all year, right? And then somewhere along the year, one book comes out. So that's kind of tough to make that book would have to be a huge commercial hit to make that work. And so if you're Stephen King or, that's great. But
if you're Terry Moore, not so much.
If you're Terry Moore, not so much. You need those chapters to be selling along the way.
Yes, we do.
The chapters
really
are how we
to
get to the big book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and again, also selling the chapters, the issues, is something for the comic shops on a regular basis. If the comic shop only got one thing from me for the year, they only get, they have 1 week to make income off of me, and then that's it. And then they're on their own for the other.
How many weeks?
55 weeks.
You mean 51?
51 weeks.
Okay,
I
well.
live in a perennial leap year.
Okay, my second question is, and I want you to take this to heart.
Okay.
Your covers, more often than not, don't match the story inside. What's up with that? For instance, this cover here.
Like this one?
Yes.
Did this explosion really happen? It's metaphorical.
No. Why doesn't that cover match what's inside?
Okay, well, here's the deal. Okay, it's like this. I have to make these covers years in advance.
No, you don't.
Months in advance.
4 months in advance.
5 months in advance.
4.
And I haven't even written the story that cover goes to yet, that issue. I'm not working far ahead like a big company that has assembly line books.
It has to have a writer, an inker, a penciler, a
right.
colorist, yeah.
when you've got 20 people working on a book, you need a schedule board. So those people work ahead of schedule. I don't. I'm a cartoonist. So when the solicitation time comes, say in January, I have to solicit for something in the summer. And so I just have to draw something. And I just have the general theme of the story in my mind, and I just draw a cover. But then once in a while, I luck out and I hit lucky 7. Like this one actually happened in the book.
Yes, it did. I was so proud of you.
Thank you. So for every one of these...
I was not proud of you for that one.
I live on the line. So for every one of those, I get one of these, and I just hope it works out a little bit. But yeah, I'm notoriously bad about having these covers not match. Don't let them throw you. And when I was doing Strangers in Paradise and having to solicit just nonstop for 12 years, if I really had no idea what to draw for a cover, or if I had a big spoiler coming up in that issue and I didn't want to broadcast it months in advance in the catalog, I would do a bogus cover and a bogus solicitation. And it was the same one every time. I solicited like 5 times in Strangers in Paradise run. And it was Francine looking at a statue of herself. And it was a nude statue, and she was horrified. And the story that I was soliciting was Francine in college, her boyfriend Pablo, the sculptor, gets mad at her and makes the statue. And that was going to be the issue. And it was just kind of like a red herring thing that I threw out. And when it got to where when SIP fans saw that, they knew that that particular issue was going to have some big spoiler in it. And that's where usually somebody got together or broke up or somebody reappeared. But I don't want to say that in a solicitation 3 months in advance.
Well, I think you should try harder to make the covers match the interior.
You're dressing me down
I
on
am.
global television.
I am. See, you guys need to send in your questions, or he's just going to take a browbeating every week.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm in the hot seat. It's hot in here. Don't you think it's hot in here? It's getting awfully hot.
Okay, so be sure to send me your questions to mail@abstractstudiocomics.com, and we'll give him a break next week.
Yeah, that would be swell. Something softball, please.
Okay, so are you going to have a drawing tutorial today?
Yeah, I thought today we would talk about body types, and from all kinds, male and female. So if you want to know how to draw the muscles and that shape, or you want to know how to draw the curves, this is your lesson. So meet me here. The great thing about comics and drawing comics is that there's room for every kind of character. Whether you're the 6'8" marvelous specimen of a man who is saving a city, or you're the 5 foot, 4 foot, 3 foot little guy who wonders where these people come from, and wonder maybe how big his grocery bills are during the week. But that's what I like about comics. You can go either way. You can draw about Captain Speedy there, or you can write about the little everyman. And, everything in between. There can be the teenager who's bitten by a bug and suddenly becomes the best of both worlds, actually. And he is drawn in a very agile, flexible way, because your teenage years are when you are the most flexible. Try doing that pose when you're 50, and you're gonna be wrapped in ace bandages for months. But it's fun for the artist to take all types of people and draw them and represent them in their stories. The hero guy, the hero woman, and this really, I think, goes way back to the Greeks and whoever started drawing heroes first. And I think it's something that you have to kind of play with over the years as an artist, and learn your chops about the figure, what's underneath there. And even when you're drawing the little figures like this, you're still accounting for something being inside that body shell.
Those little cartoon figures have anatomy and insides too, and when you account for that, their figures look more realistic. So let's take a look at the typical starting point for artists. When you look at any drawing book, they'll give you these layouts, and they'll say, here, start with this stick man, this elaborate stick man. But what's inside that guy? You have lungs and a heart, the big organs, the GI tract. Then you've got protective armor over that, and the collarbone, that one big large tibia bone on either side, and then you've got the hips and the joints. You've got the upper arm and the lower arm. The lower legs and lower arms have two bones so that they can turn. When you get down to the ankles, the inside ankles are higher up than the outside so that you get that supportive arch. And then the spine running through the back of that, and then the skull. So when you're drawing what you see in the instruction books, that basic guy, you're supposed to be seeing this as well, and I don't know if they all say that. Then, if you using the blue pencil showing you the skin, you're accounting for muscles and skin when you go over that. Does that make sense? So you can start with your stick man, and then you think about everything that's around those sticks, the sticks being bones. And this is what you're doing mentally in your head. You're looking at it like this. So if you draw an unrealistically thin waist, where did that GI tract go? Where did the kidneys and the liver go, right? So you're accounting for those things when you draw. So let's draw now the way a typical comic book artist draws. They start right in on the body. They don't actually draw the sticks first and the muscles and the organs like on the left. But the left is what they're seeing when they draw this on the right. They're mentally accounting for those things on the left being there. And you can see it as I contour the muscles and things like that. I didn't just memorize that bump. I'm actually thinking of that muscle being there, making that bump, because that muscle changes from person to person. And then, of course, once you have this body shape, it's easy to dress it, right? But that's how typical comic artists work. They will draw what you see on the right, and they're thinking about what's on the left. So doing your homework to understand what is underneath all that is a really good thing. At this point, I'm drawing the well-proportioned person in terms of head height. That's probably 8 heads high or higher, when typically we're actually, like 7 heads or 6 heads. Let's draw the companion piece there, the female companion piece to that. And I think I went into the female anatomy with the spine and the hip differences and the rib cage and all that in an earlier post, so you can check that out. But this is really about something else. Notice again the marking points that I've laid out where the elbows come on the male and the female are different, where the wrist comes on the male and the female is different. These are things that you'll account for when you're drawing. And it all has to do with some basic skeletal differences between men and women. And when you draw, you're accounting for that. So there you have 2 very normal looking people. If you saw them walking down the street, you would not think that there was anything wrong with their insides. You think they have, you have all your bones, you have all your internal organs, because I can kind of see them from the outside. So when you're drawing more in a more comic book style, and you see the comic book characters that are short, because that's funny. I don't know why so many comic book characters are short. But they start with the kidney bean shape. And even now, showing you what I've shown you, can't you see inside there that there is an actual body in there, and he's just amassed a lot of fat around his organs in the lower half? Now that you have learned to see with X-ray eyes, you can see that that there's a real internal structure to keeping that guy up. Or you can apply this to the teenage boy that you might find in a typical comic book or a cartoon. And it's taller, thinner, leaner. I'm just going to skip the skin and bones part here and go ahead and dress this guy. But you can tell from his pose that his spine is arched and that there's slump in the shoulder and everything. His body posture indicates an attitude. So now you have a character with an attitude, but you can still see his knees, and you can tell where his bones are and his joints are. And you know that there's enough room inside that shirt and those pants for the body organs. So that's the difference between something, a bad drawing, and even a weird cartoon drawing that still works. Okay, now here I want to show you something. I'm drawing the female version, and I messed up the face, didn't I? See that? Do you throw that drawing away? No, don't throw it away. Most y'all spend more time erasing and redrawing than you never get it. You hardly ever get it right the first time. Let me show you what I actually see in there that is very salvageable. We can take this drawing and work on top of it. And because that's really all these pencils are for when you're blue penciling something or rough penciling something. It's just a working area for you to do your thing. We're not trying to draw the Mona Lisa from the get-go with a pencil. You're just trying to lay down the structure of a person that you see in your imagination. So that bad blue pencil was enough for me to work on top of. Because, it had a bad chin. Well, you can fix that with your ink. You don't follow the bad pencil. You ink in the pencil that you want to see. You're using your imagination while you draw. So here I am drawing the goth girl, and I'm going to stretch it out. I'm not tied to those pencil drawings. I'm the one who made them. I can change them. I can break them. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is how it is for you. You lay something down. It's not in stone. Change it. Modify it. The drawing isn't done until you step away. So as long as you continue to work on it, you're good. That's the drawing I got out of that bad pencil. Let's try it with a guy. So I'm giving him more of a forehead than I drew, and a hairstyle. I'm going to give him a scarf here just so that the poor guy has a chance with this girl. And I know where his legs are, and I'm just drawing cloth, how it would drape over those bones. And now you've got this guy standing at a bus stop in his autumn clothes, giving that girl the eye. So, there's so much latitude when you're drawing comics. If you just kind of think about what's inside even a cartoon character and just allow for it when you're drawing, your drawings will have more life to them. You don't have to do this. This is just how I do it. But you can just draw what you want to draw what you love to draw, and have fun with it.